All right, what's in this podcast? Episode 85. It's 85 or 86. One of those. We're moving along today. Been a long day at JMU. Been meeting with a lot of the people from the Poetry Cafe. And we have two more guys today from the Poetry Cafe. Isaac, right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Tell the people what you do and what your niche is.
So I am the primary drummer for the Poetry Cafe, and I also fill in on keys, piano, when Mike, the piano player, isn't available.
Nice.
I'm pretty much a full-time musician, but I also am a full-time National Guardsman.
Nice.
I drill in Reedsville, North Carolina, and I work in Raleigh.
Nice.
All through the National Guard.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have going on.
Nice.
If it's not music, then it's with the Army, and if it's not with the Army, then I'm probably at home with my wife.
Gotcha. So what got you into music? Like, what was your come up?
So I've been a drummer, and since I was a baby, literally I was like beating on people with my fingers.
Wow. Okay.
And then when I was 1, I got my first drum set. When I was 5, I was playing in church.
Nice.
So I've been playing church as a drum set player primarily since I was 5. And then around the 5th grade, I think it's 4th or 5th grade, I picked up piano because my uncle was always moving. Right. He was always getting up. I mean, he just couldn't sit still. And so we would just be out of a piano player. Right. So I was like, well, I'm going to learn.
Right.
And from there, I kind of just picked it up. And so now I play at 2 churches in Greensboro. Abundant Life Church International and Gate City Church. Nice. Both located in Greensboro.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's nice. So you've been living in Greensboro your whole life?
No. I grew up in Dunn, North Carolina. It's like right on the outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina. But I went to school and graduated from Clinton High School. I was in Dunn till I moved in the 3rd grade, I think. And then from the 3rd grade to my senior year, I spent in Clinton City schools.
Nice.
Small town, probably like 8,000 people at the most, so everybody knew each other, but it was cool.
Right.
And yeah, so once I did that, I started school at A&T in 2013. And in the midst of that, not bad decisions, but just terrible time management skills. I marched in the band, so I had to sit out a year, and then I joined the Army. So now I'm on my last semester, so I have a semester left. I should finish in December.
Nice. So what took you to the Army? Like, what made you want to go in?
Well, before I joined the Army, I told myself I would never join the Army. It's one of those things where you don't have a lot of information on it. So you're just like, I don't really want to go. I don't want to go fight a war. I don't want to go do all these extra things. But then, currently my wife, but then my girlfriend, she was like, well, this recruiter wants to talk to us today. And I was like, I'll go. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And so he talked to us, and it was pretty interesting. It's a National Guard, so you don't have to do it every day full time unless you get into a position where you can. Right. And so we did that. We went to go talk to him. He was like, well, you need to lose weight. I was like, okay, well, I'll start running. Excuse me. And so I started running, and by the time it was time for him to say, okay, well, you guys can start today, he was like, well, I got to weigh you, and I'm, to the military standard, they want me to be like 175 pounds. Wow, okay. Never will happen in life. Yeah. The smallest I've been is like 190. Gotcha. Maybe 195, I think. And that's just, and I mean, I was super small. So, it's being weighed and taped. So once if you can't meet the weight requirement, then they have to take your measurements, and it's a certain percentage that they do. Well, anyways, I passed it, so I was good. He was like, man, so you did good on this. So I thought it would be cool to just find something that I could do. So I've started that in 2016. Right. I'm on my 6th year. I just picked up a promotion, so I'm about to be promoted. Nice. My wife is also in the Army as well. Nice, so she kind of convinced me, and so that kind of pushed me towards the Army. Gotcha. And at first I was like, well, this would just be cool. I can do my student loans. I can kind of pay this off. I have the supplemental income. And then, you start to find things that you can do in the Army. Like, there's a lot of other avenues outside of what most people think is, being infantry or being a foot soldier or having to go out there and sit in the woods. Right. 3 weeks at a time. That's what we all think. Everybody has their own, outside view, but there's a lot of ins and outs of the Army. So I'm a logistician. That's a technical term, but it's just, I do like inventory. I do a lot of computer work. So it's not too bad. And my wife is a financial, basically like a financial, not advisor, more like she helps soldiers get paid. So when once they do whatever they have to do and the orders are cut, then she's the person who makes sure the money flows where it needs to flow. So that's what she does.
So in the military, they have like jobs that are, like regular civilian jobs, but they're inside the.
Yeah.
Got you.
So there's all types. I mean, there's a military photographer. There's a military. Only thing that's not a job in the military, well, in the Army, is we do not contract janitors, sanitation people, because they tell you when you join the Army, you have two jobs. It's your primary job, whatever you want to learn to do, and then your second job is learning how to clean.
Gotcha. Okay, so everyone cleans.
Everybody cleans. So, wherever you are, you're usually the person. And depending on the building, if the building is a place where it's a lot of high-ranking people, those high-ranking people might clean the building.
Gotcha.
That just is the nature of the beast. And so those buildings might have like one or two people who go around and clean, but things are generally very kept in those areas.
Right.
It's not that it's not that much for them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So now, do you think like going to the military and creating that foundation for you with money and stuff helped you with your pursuing your music career?
I don't think the Army was more of like a foundational thing for me. I think the Army was more like a plug.
Okay.
Like I already have a very solid foundation.
Right.
I grew up. My family wasn't very hard on me, but they also didn't let me stray off with too many things. So I was very structured. But I was free to make mistakes.
Right.
So I learned very early what I did want to do, what I don't want to do. I knew that music was going to be something that I did, I think, since I was maybe like 9 or 10. I'd already decided that I was going to be a musician.
Right.
And then the Army was more like, well, I know I'm going to be a musician, but I also want to find something else that I want to do just to kind of supplement everything. Like if something happens where I can't be a musician, I want to have something that can help me do other things. And I didn't really like join the Army because of what I thought it could do as far as like foundationally. I think I was already kind of founded. The Army just kind of helped me have ways into supplementing my income. So now I have a full-time job with the Army. I go to Raleigh. I drive to Raleigh from Greensboro. That's about an hour drive. And it's not that bad, like it was just something that I thought would be helpful. Right. Because I told you, like I never thought about joining the Army at first, so I kind of wanted to just see what it was going to be like. So I'm pretty sure that I'll be a full term. Like I'll serve 20 years or 30 years in the Army and have it, have the retirement thing, because a lot of places aren't paying you what the Army is willing to give you. Right. It may not be what you think it may not be what you think it's worth, but for what everything else is. What I do on the civilian, like what I would get as a civilian, is nowhere near what I would be getting now.
Right, and then all the benefits.
You know what I'm saying? They take care of health. They take care of course, your 401k, retirement. They have all types of different things that you can put your hands in and put your money into that help as a long-term investment. Nice. So it's really cool. I advise. I hope more people think about joining the Army. It's not just the Army. My sister's in the Navy. Okay. My cousins, they were in the National Guard when they were younger. I have an uncle who was in the Army, another cousin who was in the Air Force. So it's a lot of, and I didn't really think about that before I joined the Army, but I guess that's why I was so drawn to it. Right.
All the family ties. Yeah.
I didn't really, it's not something that I thought about before I did it, but after doing it, it's like, oh, so all these people really, all these people use the Army in some way, shape, or form at one point in time. So. Right. But as far as my foundation, I think I've always had a very set idea of what I want to do. And I'm not going to say stubborn, but I'm not very wavering. Like, if I feel like I want to do something, then I will. And if I feel like I don't want to do something, then I won't. Right. And that's just cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people may not like the cut and dryness of it, but it is what it is. Yeah.
That's how you got to be. That's what I'm learning now. Like, the older you get, the more you got to be just kind of do for yourself. Because people aren't going to necessarily go the extra mile like how you would for them. Right. Definitely.
Being married, I have to make extra steps to make sure that, whatever my wife needs is taken care of. If my wife needs to spend time with me, I'm not putting anything over her. Music, I don't put over my wife. You know what I'm saying? I put the Army over my wife. Gotcha. The only thing I put over my wife is God, and that's just the balance. But as far as what I have to do, if she needed me to come do something, and somebody's like, oh, well, we got this rehearsal today. Well, I was like, my wife needs me to do something. It's like, man, well, you agreed to this rehearsal. This is my wife. I see what you're saying. So it's like, and sometimes I don't think it's ever put me in a place where I've had to like decide between my wife and between music, but I make sure everybody understands. Like, if it's a choice that I have to make, I'm gonna go this way, because at the end of the day, this music, this group that I'm with is great, it's cool, but it could probably last for the next 10 years.
Right.
My wife is gonna be there until I'm 80, 90. You know what I'm saying? So you can't put that as that is like a non-option priority.
Yeah.
If she needs something, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have that, man, because lately, I'm 28 now, so I've been thinking in my head, like, damn, I don't know if I'm ever going to find the right, you know what I'm saying? And I can feel that, because, like, right now, I feel like every time I put someone, like a female first, it always normally kind of burns me, because I never pursue my goals and things like that. So, like, now I'm, like, in a position where I just want to pursue my goals, and then hopefully the right person comes along. Like, how do you feel like you got to a place where you're comfortable just being with your wife and learning her and being dedicated to her?
Well, my wife is as equally dedicated to me as I am to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she makes my lunchbox in the morning before I go to work. I don't have to worry about warming my car up. But if she needs something, like, she doesn't have to ask for anything.
Right.
Hey, babe, can we get this? Sure. Take the wallet. You know, take the card. Take the whatever you need. Oh, you need me to come do something? I'm there. So, like, it's equal investment. And that's something I learned when I was younger, is that I didn't want to, I feel like society has made us as males feel invalued. We're just as valuable. Not saying that there shouldn't be a chase, because that's one of the issues that I ran into, was that sometimes my wife felt like she wasn't chased enough, or she wasn't wanted enough, or I wasn't like actively engaging, because she was head over heels. Like, when she first saw me, she said that as soon as I seen you, I told my friend that you were going to be my husband. And I was like, dang. But I didn't necessarily reciprocate that exact feeling to her. Not because I didn't want to, but because of just all these other things that I had going on in my brain. Like, but that's what I'm doing, like, trying to make up for that time and making sure that she knows that I'm here. You're wanted, you're loved, you know what I'm saying? Like, not just because of what I feel like you can give me, but just because I want to be around you. And that's a lot of times we as males have placed ourselves in a position where we are giving all the attention. Like, this is, I'm pouring all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chasing, I pay for the bills, or I'm paying for dinner, or I'm the one making plans to do things, and we don't get a lot of reciprocation in those types of areas. So that's one of the things that worked with me and my wife, is that she was very she was always actively trying to be around me. And sometimes that's a very positive thing, and it could be also negative, because sometimes she felt as if I wasn't, like, if she wouldn't have actively tried to be around me, then I wouldn't have asked her to be around me. That's not the case, but you have to make sure that there's equal, you know what I'm saying, equal reciprocation. If she's asking to be around you, then you need to be asking, hey, can you be around me? If she's wanting to go on a date, then you need to set the date up yourself too. Like, the tit for tat, the equal wanting. I think as males, we have let ourselves get into a place where it's all about the chase, or it's all about the female. It's all about what we can do to benefit them. And a lot of times, go ahead.
A lot of times, like, I feel like we chase so much, and then when we get it, sometimes we don't feel the same way we felt in the beginning. So then, I know a lot of guys, naturally, we don't know how to communicate that, so we kind of fall off, and then the girl feels like they've been ghosted or stuff like that. I think a lot of times, you know, with that chase thing you said, like, the girls don't, nowadays it seems like they're not making the first move, or they're not even, we have to pay for dinner and things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we have to.
And, you know, I think there's a level of chivalry that we should keep, that we should always keep. That should not be something like, I walk around the car, my wife doesn't have to open the door. You know what I'm saying? If she's outside getting groceries because she's working, or she's getting off work, I'm out there with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let her, it's not going to be a situation where I'm letting her go anywhere by herself, or I'm letting her do things. Like, if something too heavy, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Or if there's something that she needs me to do, if we're both upstairs and she wants water, I'm downstairs. I'll get the water. You know, things that I know that we as men should keep up, because that is just our area in the relationship. There are also things that we do as far as when it comes to the internal relationship that society has painted a picture of over masculinity. We don't have to be overtly hard rock shells. Like a lot of us,
mm-hmm.
we aren't sensitive enough.
Yep.
And because we aren't sensitive enough, then females take the sensitive man as weak.
Yep.
Well, I'm not weak, but
yep.
I'm also able to open up. Like,
yep.
if something is wrong with me, you're going to hear my mouth.
Yep.
Because I'd rather you hear what I'm saying and feel like I'm being sensitive as opposed to not hearing anything that I say and then it explode at one point in time.
Yep.
So I think that's a lot of communication issues. But most of the problems that I think we have just come from like what we see media portray.
Yeah,
This is what a man should do for a woman, and this is what a woman should do.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like that.
You got to be real tough, and then
play her before she play. Things like that. Yep.
And so it's just finding the person who's willing to deal with all of your issues. Like I'm a musician. I'm gonna be a musician.
Yeah.
I'll always be a musician. It's gonna be late nights.
Yep.
It's gonna be days where I'm already gone. Like I'm here and she's back home.
Yep.
It's gonna be times where that's the case.
Yep.
You have to find somebody who's willing to deal with that.
Yep.
And I put that all out on the table. Like that's here's the book. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hiding anything. You know, I've never been this person, but if I was to be, if I wanted to be liberally sexual, if I wanted to be free, then that's what I would put on the table. Hey, this is what it is. Yeah. I think a lot of times we hide the fact that we want to do that.
Because we want to be with the person so bad, we kind of mask ourselves.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or you don't want to be with the person bad at all, but a lot of people tie the relationship, like the preliminary relationship requirements, they tie that to just, I just wanted this to be a fling, but I want all the other stuff too.
Yeah.
A lot of females, I think they get tied up into that too. Well, I want you to romance me, and I want you to do all these things, and I want you to do all this. And it's like, well, I don't want that, you know, but it's, as males, I think we have plagued ourselves into doing way too much as for someone who you know you aren't going to actually place in that area. Like you build a female up, you bring her flowers, you talk nice to her, you tell her how good she looks, and then like y'all have whatever intimacy you're gonna have, and then you just kind of cut it off. It's like, dang, this dude did all of this, but was it real? And that's the genuineness that we are losing. And so if we as a male, if we as a society want to bring back the genuine relationships, we just have to be genuine. Like if this is what I want, this is what I want.
Right.
And a lot of people will find that there's a lot of females who are just as equally passionate about what you feel like you want. And they are just as down.
It's like when you keep it 100.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
lately, I've been telling girls, like, I just want a friendship. I'm focused on my music, and a lot comes with that. So, like, I realize what I want more for myself is more, I want to go for my passions and my dreams. And if the right person comes along, because I stopped myself for a person before, and it ended up wasn't the right person. You know what I'm saying? So, now I realize without having myself and attacking my dreams and going for that first, I feel like sometimes it takes away from me wanting to be in a relationship and really giving my all to that person. So I'm just taking my time and hoping that the right person comes along. I think everyone has their own different pace with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's no such thing as too late. I mean, I know people who have gotten together when they were super old. I know people who have gotten together when they were super young, stayed together. I know people who got together when they were super young, broke up, 10 years later, they're back together. There's so many different scenarios. And so, like, you can't pinch your life after a picture of somebody else's life because that's not your life.
Not
you know what I'm saying? So, but the other thing is like just putting all the cards on the table. Like, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. And I find that was the easiest way for me to deal with people. I don't have time for you to say, oh, well, I didn't know that about you. Yes, you did. I told you already. And if you didn't like it at the beginning, then you're probably not going to like it now. So you have to decide. And that's another thing. Like, I don't think that there's anybody who can 100% say they like every single thing about the person that they're with. I'm just willing to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already understand that you're going to have issues. Because I have issues.
Yes, everyone does.
And that person has issues. And all these conglomerate of people, every friend that you have is going to have issues. Your parents had issues. Your kids are going to have issues. Your grandparents, everybody has problems.
Everybody has something.
So you just have to learn that it's not about me working on the problems that I have or her working on the problems that she has. It's literally about me saying, I know you have problems, and I'm okay with dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that problem that you have right there is not a big enough problem for me to not want to be in a relationship. Or your music career. Or my wife, she's in the Army, but she also likes to do hair. Sometimes it takes her all day to do hair. And that all day is time that we don't get to spend together. But I never criticize like any of the time that we don't get to spend together because I know that she's working towards something that she's always wanted to do. And she's pushing towards it. She's going to go to school. She's going to get an LLC. She's going to do all these many things. it's like, yeah, babe, go. Like, do what you want to do. Like, press on. Because eventually we'll get to a point where we don't even have to, like, we're just doing things because we want to do them, not because we have to do them.
Right.
But I will never, and I would never let my wife give up whatever her passion is because I don't want her doing whatever she feels passionate to do. Right. So, and I think that's a lot of times some people fall into that vein. Like, like you said, you felt like you had given up what you like to do for a relationship. And that's a lot of people's case. Yeah. I want to be a rapper. It's like, okay, you want to rap. A lot of people don't know the ins and outs of the music industry, and so they'll criticize what you want to do. I have people tell me, why are you going to school for music? Well, it's just what I want to do. Well, I don't think you should do that. Well, that's cool. And
people always have an opinion.
Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one.
You know
what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, even your opinion can be terrible. Like, what you think matters or what you think is a good opinion could work for somebody else. But it's not going to fly for me. Right. And even if it did fly for me, I'm going to go make my mistake anyways. Because life is about mistakes. You got to go make them. Because if you don't make them, something's going to happen. You either going to make a mistake that's detrimental, or you're going to make a mistake and you're just going to learn from it. But the mistake is going to come, whether you want it to or not.
So, that's just like the show today, where people's first time going on the stage, you just conquer that fear. You may mess up, but if you do it, then you don't have regret. That's how I'm trying to live now, without regret. You know?
And that's one thing I can say that I've always done is I've lived life regret free. There's nothing that I wish I would have done. There's no things that I'm like, dang, I wish I could go back and change this part of my life. Because I like who I am. I've always liked who I am. I learned very young to just be okay with who I was. If I'm sensitive, let me be sensitive. If I'm mad, let me be mad. If I'm angry, let me be angry. If I want to cry, let me cry. Like if I want to go run, let me go run. If I want to be alone, let me be alone. Exactly. Like, it's okay to be in your own space. And that's what the Poetry Cafe is good with. It's like creating a space where you can be by yourself. But if you need help, we got you. We're behind you. If you need music behind you, it's having that comfort of knowing I can be up here and be by myself and say my piece because my piece is special and I don't want anything interrupting what I have. There's been people who have gotten halfway through their piece, 75%, 90% done with the piece, messed up the last end. It was like, I gotta start over. It's like, okay, we'll do that. Because sometimes you have to. Like that is your moment to be as authentically you as possible. And if you don't want us playing behind you, or if you don't want anybody interrupting what you got on, if you want it to be completely quiet, that is your moment to be on the stage and in control of whatever you have going on. And that's how life is. You know, sometimes you have to take control of everything that you want to do and be very authentically you and be selfish about it. Like, this is my space and this is what I feel like doing. And if you don't feel like being there for it, you don't have to. And that's the same thing with the crowd. The crowd doesn't want to actually engage. Just be respectful of what I have going on. So, and I think that's a very good life lesson. Like the young lady who tried to leave the stage, she was gone. And it was like she was by herself. I'm trying to do this for myself. And it's like, dang, I can't do this by myself. And then Jamae ran after her, grabbed her, and then she was like, oh, I got help now. But some people don't want the help. Some people don't, and that's okay. And that's just, those things are things that you have to decide for yourself. Yeah,
definitely, man. Definitely. Some good information you're giving, man. Definitely, for sure. What are some of the things you'll give, like, a young musician, like, some advice, like, to learn on the come up?
Don't stop being a musician. It doesn't matter if you make it a profession. You should always have something that you like to do just because you like to do it. Josephus always says, if you find something that you like to do that, and then find a way to earn compensation from it. And I can take it a step further. Like, whether you earn compensation from it or not, don't ever stop. Like, if you wanted to be a painter, if nobody ever paid you for a painting in your life, keep painting. Find whatever you like to do. If, like me, I am a full-time musician. I do music all the time. And I feel like sometimes it gets overwhelming. I tell people all the time, like, they're like, so what do you like to listen to in your leisure time? I was like, I don't really listen to music.
Because you're always making
I don't listen to a lot of artists unless I have to learn the song. And I'm trying to break that, not bad habit, but it's almost like I'm doing it so much that I have to find something else to do. So I do like to play video games. I like 2K, you know what I'm saying? I'm also Call of Duty sometimes, but I always have something that I like to do that I don't try to do as a profession or as a hobby that I want to take seriously. I like to play basketball. I like playing basketball, but I'm not arguing with people on the court. It's competitive, it's cool, but I'm not going hard because I'm just here to have a good time. Just like video games. Like, everybody talks junk in video. It's just what it is, a thing.
Yep.
But I'm never taking it so seriously to where like I'm throwing things in my TV or flipping out like, because you have to have a safe space to be able to take your mind away from whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if music is going to be there for you, let it be there for you. If you want to be a professional musician, stick at it. Don't let people tell you to not follow your dream, because 10 years down the road, you're going to hear somebody playing. You're going to be like, dang, I used to do that, but I gave it up. And that is going to be a regret that you hold, because that's going to be something that no matter how much money you make, no matter how far in life you get, no matter how successful you are, if you don't stick with whatever your passion was, if it's in a monetary manner or if it's just in a passive hobby manner, then you're going to be on the tail end of the success that you really could have had.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You never know what happens if you quit.
Nah, yeah. And the whole money thing is like, really, after $60,000 a year, money can't really get you anything.
Right.
Like after you earn a certain amount, it's really nothing that you can do. Mm-hmm. So you can get that 6-figure job. You could be a IT person. You know what I'm saying? You could be an engineer. You could be somebody who does infrastructure. But if you're not happy doing it, nothing after that amount of money is going to make you happier. Yeah. Like once you're stable and you can afford everything, you have to have something. So music is a great thing because you're always learning. Yep. There's nothing that you will ever be able to fully master as a musician. You might be able to get one thing down and then something else will open that you have to keep working on. So it'll keep you young because it'll always keep you learning. Yep.
That's what I love about music too, man. And it's like it's therapy for me. Like I have to release what I go through during the day, and I release it when writing and just recording. Sometimes if I'm just recording off the top of my brain, whatever first comes out. Like recently I took about 3 months off from recording, and I ended up getting sick, got COVID, and I realized me not releasing my energy was actually hurting me. You know what I'm saying? It's not making me, I'm not my normal self because I'm not releasing. All that bottled up energy makes you go to sleep all the time when I go to work and just go to sleep. Because I was dealing with going to work and trying to find my purpose. Cause I stopped doing music for a second because I was really just trying to figure out what my foundation was about to be. Like I got tired of, and I don't want to live off my mom. I want to get a good job and things like that. But then when I worked at FedEx and started making that $50,000 a year, $40,000 a year, realized, damn, on the weekends I'm just spending the money because I'm justifying working every week, and I don't necessarily have the time to go work on music or things like that. And even then, I learned that was an excuse too, because you always you make time for what you want. Exactly. So, but I had learned that just because you make a certain amount of money and you get the foundation of a so-called job and everything is what society tells you, make a certain amount of money and get a house and everything's cool. It's hard to live like that sometimes because you're in your head like, damn, I really want to do this other thing. I'm trapped doing this. So, yeah, man. Mom, you got any questions before we get out of here?
Just back to the same. It's about like 57 minutes of have to started. Then you can ask a question. But you can ask them. I know you said that you don't really have any regrets, but if you were to go back and how did you word it? You would go back to your 16-year-old self.
Yeah.
Right. Then what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
If I was to go back to when I was 16, what would I tell myself? Eat healthier. Join the army earlier. I would tell myself to take music a little more serious because it was easy for me when I was younger. I didn't really have to practice, or I did practice, but I didn't have to. Yeah. I got into a point where it was just fun. Yeah. But if I would have taken it serious, I would be further along. And I'm not mad at where I am right now, but take music more seriously. Right. When you meet your wife, make sure that she knows that you love her. Yeah. Not because she doesn't know now, but it would be easier for you in the long run. Yep. And get to know all my siblings. Yeah, I have a lot. I just learned that I have one sibling that I didn't know about until a year ago, maybe. Right. And so getting to know, make sure that I intertwine with them and talk to them more often. So yeah, just to pick up on things that I'm already doing, I would just tell myself to start earlier. Got you.
Sounds good. And then my last question is for the future. How do you see yourself in the future as far as the music?
So my goal is to switch the way my income is. I want my primary source of what we do to be music. So right now, the military is more like the primary. Like the military, I can pretty much pay all my bills for the month through the military. Like I don't really have to worry about that. But I want the military to be supplementary.
Right.
I want music to be my main source of whatever I do. And so whether that's going to be teaching, of course, being with the Poetry Cafe. I do know that I am an instructor for an LLC called In Tune. That just happened, so that's going to start soon to where I'm giving lessons twice a week. So I want music to be what I do that is not just fun, but is that allows me to be financially free. And that's where I want to be musically. I want to be able to do music and it not be a headache, but it also give me the income that I want it to give me.
Right.
So that like I'm not, I'm waking up, I'm doing music, but I'm just doing this, and it just so happens to be bringing me, the money that I need to take my wife on trips or fly my kids out when I do have them, or get my little brothers together. Like I want music to be that for me.
Yep. So my last question would be, it's really for both of y'all. How do y'all pick up on the song just from hearing it and then being able to play like that shit is so amazing. Like,
it takes like not years. It just takes experience. Like a lot of songs have some of the same foundational grooves when it comes to like drums. So I could play one groove, it could be 10 songs.
I see what you're saying.
And they're all tied into, but you won't know that until you've played those 10 songs. You've gone through. And then being free, like piano is a lot more difficult to do, but it's understanding the foundation. And once you have a solid foundation, you can pretty much find anything. Okay. Some songs are a little bit more hard to learn on the fly than others. But it's just really about experience. The more you do it, the easier you get at it. Right. The more you listen to songs, you start to associate songs. Right. So you can associate, this chord, this progression, these sets of chords sound just like these sets of chords. And so now you don't really have to like learn. It's just application. I see what you're saying. And how this person wants it played. Because a song that's by Patti LaBelle is going to be completely different than a song that's by Luther Vandross. I get you. But they can have the same chords. You just have to find how the person is trying to sing that and kind of just flow into what they're doing. And it's easier when you have like an open vibe. So you don't have so much structure. It's different when you're on a stage and you got a bass player, you got 4 horn players, you got 3, 2 other keyboard players, you got somebody playing drums, auxiliary percussion, all of that. You have to stay in your box. When it's an open mic, everybody's kind of just freely flowing, and it's easier for you to, as a musician, as a piano player, or as a drummer, it's easier for you to kind of feel the vibe. You say, I know what this song is supposed to sound like, and I kind of know the structure of the song, but because we are the foundation, you can kind of finagle and fix it into what you're doing so that it sounds authentic to the person. Okay, definitely. So is there anything else you want to tell the people before we get out of here? Stay true to you, man. Don't let people change you. Don't change the way you think because of somebody else's opinion. It's something that my wife said. It was dope. She said it the other day. She says, when it seems the most insignificant, that's when it matters the most. And I think that it was crazy because I don't even know what we were doing. We're trying to get into this routine of just doing things because we know we have to do them. So we take a shower every night before we lay down. Even if we took a shower early in the day because we want to go to sleep fresh. You know what I'm saying? And it was like one of those nights where, dang, we're tired. We don't want to do it. She was like, but when it seems insignificant is when it matters the most. That's about everything. When I practiced yesterday, so I'll be good today. Or I ran 2 miles yesterday, so I'm not going to work out today because I was good. Because, it's not that big of a deal. But those not that big of a deals turn into, it wasn't that big of a deal before. Now it's kind of a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal, so I can handle it. It's not that big anymore. Right. And if you keep letting those insignificant things pass you over, then those all come together and become significant. And now you have something to deal with. And if you would have just dealt with them when they were insignificant, you wouldn't have the big. I had to learn that shit with like bills and things like that. Sometimes you try to put it off. Bills will catch you. It's better just to go ahead and knock it out right there. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on, man. Definitely enjoyed talking to you. Yes, sir. I'd like to have you back again, man. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. All right, what's this podcast, episode 85? Till next time, peace.